it's Erica back on the Crafty Meraki YouTube channel. Hi! And today we are going to have a little play with the Effortless Artistry Paper Collection. So this is my favorite. It's the Love Like No Other. I love this set. It's got 4 gorgeously colored images, and what we're going to do today is we are actually going to take one of these images and we're going to add a little bit of extra detail to it by doing some extra Copic coloring. So this is the one we're going to be doing today, and here is an example of where I've already done that. I have gone in with some extra reds to kind of just make that a little bit more pink, like hot pink, dark pink. So today we are going to try another image. So the one that I showed you that already been done, I actually colored that one. This one I believe is done by either Lunon or Brenda. And we are going to just make it a little bit sort of pinker. So we're going to use these 3 Copic markers to add the pinkness, and then we're going to use these 2 greens just to kind of add in a little bit more green. If you prefer a more dark green, just change up your Copics and do basically the same thing. So with these markers, I'm just going to be using the flicking technique, which is one of the simplest ways of coloring ever. Everybody can do this, I promise. So you're going to go in with your lightest marker first and just simply drag it up. You're just basically going to flick it like the technique suggests. You're just going to flick it upwards from the bottom. And then when you go in with your next color, you're going to flick it, but not quite as far. And then when you go in with your darkest color, you're going to basically start from the bottom and just go up a little bit and just fill in those kind of like nooks and crannies for that added kind of contrast and detail. So this is how you just bring in a little bit more depth and definition. And also if you wanted to just change your color a little bit. So the brilliant thing with the EAP is that they're already pre-colored. So you wouldn't have to do this if you were in a rush. You just cut them out, add them to a card, and off you go. But here I just wanted to change up the color scheme a little bit just to kind of show you that it can be done and it doesn't take that long at all. So there is another video on the Crafty Meraki YouTube channel where I show you how to add color to some of the other colored sets in the Love Like No Other. But here you can see just that there's a little bit of difference. It's not like massive, and we only added color to the pinks, not the yellow, because I thought they were perfect as they were. And then we're going to use the coordinating die cut to cut these out. And while I have the die cut and my die cutting machine out, I also cut out another 3 so that I can layer my tulips up to make them really nice and solid. Now we will be using a little bit of liquid glue, and I cannot overstress enough the importance of using liquid glue when you are stacking your die cuts, unless you have a super steady hand, I suppose, which I do not. I always use liquid glue to get this perfectly layered and stacked die cut. So it's basically like a cut out of chipboard. So now when we have our colors or our coloring is done, we are going to move on to our background. So I wanted to do like a springy green. I mean, I know we're in the midst of summer. I am burning up here in Spain. It is so hot. But I wanted to go for like a sort of summery, springy vibe with a ombre green background. So I first done a little bit of Twisted Citron, and now I'm going to go in with some Rustic Wilderness to bring in that ombre-ness. So you can see that I've gone from one end of the cardstock to kind of like the middle with the Twisted Citron. We've gone really heavy on the base, and then we're sort of softening it up towards the whiteness there, so you get a nice soft blend. And then here I'm now going back in with my 2 colors to kind of bridge that gap between the Twisted Citron and the Rustic Wilderness, and we're just going to go back and forth until we're happy and we have a nice smooth blend. And then we're going to take the Rustic Wilderness Distress Oxide spray, and we're going to pop our background into a splatter box because ain't nobody got time to clean up the mess that sprays make. No. So we're gonna shake the bottle, make sure that the color is mixed, and then we're going to just sprinkle, and then we're also going to add a little bit of gold because I'm obsessed with gold splatters. It just It's such a nice little touch. It doesn't take hardly any time, but it just adds such a fun and beautiful element to every single card. So yes, I love it. So now we're just going to let this dry a little bit. Luckily, it doesn't take that long, so you just need like 10-15 minutes. And while that is drying, we're going to get our mini mink machine out. Now, if you don't have a mink machine, just use a laminator. And we're going to take this birthday wishes sentiment from the actual set. So this is the one that I've cut the flowers out from as well. And we're going to use Deco foil to add a little bit of shimmery goodness. So this is the gold. And as luck happened to have it, I had a teeny tiny little piece already cut up in that tube. So then you just pop it into your sort of like heat transfer sleeve, I guess. Run it through your mink machine, and then we're going to peel and reveal and go, ooh, ah, so pretty. Look at that. Oh, so good. So with this, these sets, you can laminate or mink foil all your sentiments. But I'm only going to do this one today, so trying to kind of not go down the let's do them all sentiment train. So I will use the coordinating die cut to cut this out, because I do like the way that it just keeps it really neat. Plus I'm not big on fussy cutting, plus I'm also quite bad at it, so I do love having the die cuts for it. And then the always age-old question, now what do I put where on my card? So it took a little bit of faffing, but I took a little bit of note from my previous video where I put the sentiment where it kind of just disappeared a little bit. So I decided to read the memo from that last video and the last kind of card making lessons and put the sentiment down where it would actually show up, which is down towards the green bit rather than on the white bit. And then I am using a generous handful, let's be honest, a generous handful of the ebony gems or opals even. And these we're just going to add with the crystal katana bamboo picker, and that is our card done. And then it just needs a card base and you are off to the races. So it just, ooh, that foiling adds such a nice little touch, and just coloring those or just adding those little Copic details, it really just kind of changes everything. So if you wanted to have cards that are unique and different, even if you use the same colored image, it's so easy to change it. So I really hope you've enjoyed this video, and I will see you very soon again. Bye for now.